I want the time. All my people right there.
Race 12 winners.
Winner of race 26 and 27, the Kiwi Van Gisbergen.
There's no question this guy is an absolute star, the runner-up in the V8 Supercar Championship last year. Shane Van Gisbergen, welcome to the show. 25 years of age, you've done more than almost 250 races now, so we can class you as a veteran. But the big talking point for you is moving to Red Bull next year. We know the deal's done, you're locked in for 3 years. Why? What was the main reason?
Just the future looks pretty strong there, and with the rules changing 2017, it's going to be pretty exciting to see what happens. But yeah, sad to leave Techno. It's been pretty awesome 3 years for me. So yeah, the end of the year is going to be pretty tough.
We had Jamie Whincup in last week. He said effectively nothing changes except we have a new face and new car. What does it change for you to race now against two guys like Jamie Whincup and Craig Lowndes who are going to be in your garage as well?
Yeah, it's going to be good, but you know, the 50-50 moves you don't take, you don't stick your nose in where you probably shouldn't with a teammate, but you still race them hard and work together more. So yeah, it should be pretty exciting. I haven't really thought about it too much. You know, it's good to have it locked away, but I'm really concentrating on this year. And
what about the one car setup which you've got now? Nice little cosy sort of setup that you've got, moving into the biggest setup that there, or will be the biggest setup in Red Bull racing, 3 cars.
Yeah, at the moment we go away in a minivan. There's 7 of us all together, including the driver. So pretty small, tight little team, and then I think Red Bull's got 60-something people. So yeah, a bit of a big change.
And also, mate, your team boss now is Jono Webb, who's a young guy, a former racer as well, and quite relaxed. Your team boss next year is going to be Roland Dane. That's going to be very different for you. Yeah,
it is going to be different. I think it's going to be like where I was at Stone Brothers, back in a big team, and I think I'm ready to go back to the change. But it's cool driving with Webby, you know, being the team boss and then being co-driver as well. So it's a change. I can tell him what to do for a couple of weekends a year.
We love your racing style. Larko's been digging around with some vision and found something pretty freaky, Larko.
Mate, I want you to have a look at this vision. We got this from Simmons Plane. There's been a bit of chat about this. Now, watch his wrist as he's going down into the hairpin. Look, bang, bang, down changes with your wrist. Now, we've seen that. That's all very cool. What I'm really interested to know, mate, is what actually inspired you to do that in the first instance? Because that's just not happened just then, I'm sure.
I'm just lazy. No, I've done that for years. Just in the middle of the race, when you're cruising, you just flick your wrist. The gearbox is right there, and you don't lose any time, you don't make any time. I'm just cruising along.
I like that. You got your hand back on the steering wheel. It's fantastic.
Yeah. Chaz, do you ever do that? I mean, have you ever tried that?
No, I don't think I have very good wrists for that, to be honest.
It's crazy. Your driving style is something that lit up the championship when you came in. You debuted way back in 2007. What is it about your style that just comes naturally to you? Where does that come from?
Yeah, probably a bit looser back in 2007. Try and be a bit more consistent than I was back then. But yeah, I don't know. It's just how I've always driven. I always enjoy finding the limit, whatever I'm driving, and being on it all the time is pretty rewarding. So yeah, just try and push as much as I can.
I think a really true statement about you is that you were born to race, because that's pretty much all you do. Tell us through, you know, your daily routine, because you follow you on Instagram or Twitter, and you're always racing something. It's been in your blood the whole way.
Oh, that's an old one.
Yeah, we've dug out some photos. You'll race anything, mate.
Yeah, so normally for me, I'm home Monday, do the washing Tuesday, pack the bag Wednesday, go to the next race. It's pretty busy, but yeah, raced in Italy a couple of weeks ago, you know, for the Blancpain Endurance Series, McLaren. It's just getting to do some really cool stuff.
And simulators as well, and iRacing, you do a lot?
Yeah, don't get as much time to do that anymore, but when I do, I can. But yeah, doing the New Zealand and Australian Drift Championship too. So yeah, hand out the window going sideways.
What would you be doing if you weren't racing, if you weren't a V8 supercar driver?
I don't know. I've done that since I left school. I went straight into V8s basically. So yeah, it's all I've ever known.
Did you think about that when you stepped away from the sport a few years back? I mean, you basically had nothing in front of you. What did you think you were going to do then?
Yeah, it was tough because I hadn't done anything. So I worked for Dad a bit, selling go-kart and motorbike wheels over summer, and had my own business cards and everything. But I wanted to go back racing pretty quick.
So 2015 so far, hard to get a read on the championship. You're 5th, you had a pole and a 3rd at Clipsal, on the podium at the last round. Where do you think you need to lift for the rest of the year?
I don't know, we've been pretty good, and these tracks, Simmons and Perth, we really struggled last year. So we fixed Tassie, we were really quick there, and then Perth next, which we struggled at last year. So if we fix that, I think we'll be good for the rest of the year. Yeah,
qualifying's just super important at Barbagallo Raceway. So how do you attack that weekend to go in there knowing that you will need a fast car straight out of the box?
I think that's just it. You just got to go there and do it, and qualify well and race up there, because the Saturday races are so short. You just have to start up front and try and stay there.
And you'll stay in that car, stay in that chassis for the next 2 rounds before you get online a new one?
Yeah, that's right. We've had the same car since Adelaide 2013 when Car of the Future came in. So, yeah, it's done quite well, that old girl. But I'm looking forward to a new one at Darwin.
And just looking ahead for the rest of the season, of course, Bathurst is the one that everyone focuses on. Pole for you last year there. The weekend started so good for you, mate, and everyone was really pumped. But then, as Bathurst can do, it came back and gave you a pretty big bite on Sunday.
I might buy a new starter motor myself for that race. But yeah, it happened. It was an awesome race. I just enjoyed that day. The finish wasn't good, but the whole weekend really enjoyed it. The race was good. The team was on fire. But it's just what happens at that race. And there's another one this year and another one next year, so we'll give it a go.
Hey, and what about the Kiwi connection in V8 Supercars? Such a wonderful, proud history of Kiwis in our championship, and there's a whole stack of you blokes, but you don't always get on. We've found a little bit of vision of you and Scotty McLaughlin at the last round. Let's take a look at this, because I know that you have a little code, don't you? Kiwis have a bit of a code out there, but this one fell apart.
Misunderstanding, because I crashed into a Swedish teammate early in the race and I thought it was still him. I didn't look across, I just held my middle finger up. But I didn't know it was Scotty, and he come into the trailer after the race crying and screaming at me. I go, what are you on about, mate? And yeah, he took a while to recover from that one.
So that was last year, but I mean, effectively, tell us a little bit about that code as well, because there is a bit of an understanding between the Kiwis. You look out for yourself is the best way to put it, is it?
Yeah, the Kiwis get along, but I do it with anyone. Like if someone's catching me for 6 or something, middle of the race, there's no point racing. You just let them go, and then, if it's the last few laps and for the lead, you try and block it out. But yeah, for the middle of the race, you just let people go. There's no point getting in a scrap and holding yourself up. But yeah, the Kiwi guys do look after each other a bit more, and thankfully we're all going pretty good now. It's really, really cool.
Well, we've got one race against our Aussie guy here, Chaz Mostert, for you to take on a little bit later in the show, the Battle of Bathurst around Mount Panorama. Best of luck for the rest of the season, and of course next weekend at Barbagallo. Put your hands together for Shane Van Gisbergen, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to RPM. This is a Trans-Tasman Anzac Battle of Bathurst this weekend. Our flying Kiwi Shane Van Gisbergen on pole at Mount Panorama last year against Chaz Mostert, representing Australia today, who went on to win the race at Bathurst in 2014. But how will they go in our SimWorks simulators? 1 lap, guys. You're in gear. You're on the start line. 3, 2, 1. Let's go racing. So we've got the Gears in the red RPM car against Chaz in the white car up to turn 1.
Oh, squeeze.
We've got a few Pro Drive fans in the audience. We're backing up Chaz here, guys. What about Gizzy? We've got the Kiwis here.
Pretty outnumbered here, mate.
Righto, Chaz, what are you going to do here at 2? He can't talk, he's focusing.
Oh, shunted.
Nice and tight. Up through the cutting. Has there been any panel rubbing yet, Marco? They seem very
No, but I have
orderly.
a fairly strong impression what young blokes do during the middle of the day as a race driver these days, eh? They're both very good, very competent. Maybe not so.
Gears, I've heard that you can spend an entire day in these racing while you're still in your pyjamas. True or false?
An entire day.
Okay, half a day.
Whoa.
Righto, up over the top. Mostert leads by about a car length. Tricky through here. Talk about the pro racers. They're the only 2 that have stayed on the track this far.
Crazy, isn't it?
Scandi flag.
Well done, this is good.
You remember in our first episode of RPM, Chaz Mostert got beaten on this track by a bloke called Mark Webber.
I can't remember, Matt. I think it was an 18 or a 19. It was pretty slow. I'd suggest those are going to be our 2 best laps. This is good.
They're still the fastest laps at the moment, Chaz and Mark's. Right, through the chase, flat stick. Oh, little lock up, Chaz. I've never noticed, because we don't see you with your helmet off, how much you move your tongue around when you drive, Chaz. Right, final turn. Looks as though he's got in. Ladies and gentlemen, your winner today in the Anzac Battle of Bathurst is Chaz Mostert. Welcome. Very, very good stuff. And he loses it on the way out. So a second and a first, and they crash at the end. Well done, guys. You can go to our website to check out the times and see how they stack up.